Manchester United are about to face one of their biggest tests of preseason, Paris Saint-Germain. And this game is interesting for one huge reason. United are finally getting some of their senior players back. And, most importantly, Yuri Tielemans is set to make his Manchester United debut. We've already seen the youngsters impress during preseason. We've seen Harry Maas, Ethan Williams, Shea Lacey, and others show that they're ready to compete. But PSG is a completely different challenge. This is a kind of game where Carrick can finally start seeing how his strongest squad could look. So let's talk about the returning players, Tielemans' debut, and what we should actually be watching against PSG. Let's be honest, preseason results can be misleading. Players aren't always at full fitness. Managers are experimenting, and youngsters are getting opportunities. But PSG? That's a serious test. You're facing one of Europe's elite teams, with technically gifted players who can punish you if you're sloppy. And that's exactly what makes this game valuable for United. We've seen Carrick's side play with energy. We've seen the young players show confidence. But can United do it against a team capable of controlling possession and putting them under serious pressure? That's the question. And I think the answer will tell us more than the final score. One of the biggest differences going into this match is the number of senior players returning to the group. Bruno Fernandes is back. Diogo Dalot is back. Matheus Cunha is back. Noussair Mazraoui is also returning. And then, of course, we've got Tielemans coming into the picture. That completely changes Carrick's options. During the earlier games, United had to rely heavily on their younger players. And honestly, they've taken advantage of that opportunity. But now the experienced players are returning, and that creates something every manager wants: competition. The youngsters now have to prove that they deserve minutes, even when the established players are available. And that's where this PSG game becomes really interesting. Let's start with Bruno. United have obviously missed his creativity during parts of preseason. Bruno gives United something that is difficult to replace: the ability to see passes other players don't see. He can receive between the lines, create chances, and change the tempo of a game. But his return also raises another question. How does Bruno fit with Tielemans? Because Tielemans isn't being brought in to simply sit on the bench. He's an experienced midfielder who can help United control possession and dictate the game. And seeing those two together, even for a short period, could give us our first real glimpse of Carrick's midfield plans. This is obviously the main event. Yuri Tielemans is finally going to wear the Manchester United shirt, and I don't think anyone should expect him to come in and immediately dominate for 90 minutes. He's only just returning to preseason training, but even 30 or 45 minutes could be very interesting. There are three things I want to watch. First, his passing. Tielemans has the ability to move the ball quickly and accurately. He can play through the lines, switch the play, and find teammates in dangerous areas. We've seen United's youngsters spraying passes around during preseason. Now we're going to see an experienced Premier League midfielder bringing that quality into the team. Second, his positioning. Where does Carrick actually play him? Does he sit deeper? Does he operate alongside another midfielder? Does he get forward? That will tell us a lot about what Carrick has planned for him. Third, his control. This is probably what I'm most interested in. United have plenty of energy, but sometimes you need someone who can slow the game down. Someone who can receive the ball under pressure and say, "Calm down. We've got this." Tielemans could provide exactly that. And here's where things get really interesting. Players like Harry Maas, Ethan Williams, and Shea Lacey have been impressive. They've shown confidence. They've shown personality. And they've made it difficult for Carrick to ignore them. But now the senior players are returning. That means the standard gets higher. If a youngster wants to play regularly next season, they can't just impress against other young players. They have to compete with established first-team footballers. And that's actually good news, because competition should push everybody. If you're performing, you play. If you're not performing, someone else takes your place. That's how a healthy squad should work. Personally, I'm not too worried about the result. Of course, everyone wants United to win, but this is preseason. What I want to see is how United respond to pressure. Can they play through PSG's press? Can the midfield keep possession? Can Tielemans settle quickly? Can Bruno and Tielemans understand each other? And can the youngsters continue performing when they're surrounded by senior players? Those are the things that matter, because the season is getting closer. Carrick needs to start putting the pieces together. So this isn't just another friendly. It's an opportunity to see a much stronger version of Manchester United. The youngsters have had their chance. Now the experienced players are coming back. Bruno is returning. Cunha is back. Dalot and Mazraoui are returning. And most importantly, I'm especially interested to see what happens in midfield. If Tielemans and Bruno get minutes together, we could get our first real indication of how Carrick wants this team to function. And don't forget the youngsters, because they've already made their case. Now, they have to prove they can compete with the senior players. So, United fans, I want to know from you, should Tielemans start against PSG, or should Carrick ease him into the team? And who should partner him in midfield? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications.